Tim, it's your turn.
Oh man. So this week, I want to talk about something very near and dear to me, and that's beards. People like beards.
Facial hair.
What is the thumbnail on this one going to be before we start talking?
Not like beards that like hide if your sexual orientation.
Oh, I'm talking about
Tim's not that deep. He
Okay.
means facial hair.
I don't know what you just said. What the hell are you talking about?
Beards. That's
You know,
like
if
a
you're-
common name for if you
if
don't want
you-
to come out of the closet. You have
Exactly.
someone who's your beard.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
Really?
No.
You live in really?
That
No.
makes a lot of prior conversations way more contextual.
I'm a beard, and you're like, you don't have a beard. What are you talking about?
Cool.
No, yeah. Generally, if you're a gay man and you have a wife, she is your beard. As
I've
she's covering up
never
for something.
Because it
heard
makes
that.
you manlier.
Yeah, it makes
like
it makes
you're-
people think you're
Well,
straight.
it's
You're-
hiding
You're in the
your
closet.
face.
You're hiding something.
hiding.
Interesting. I've never
covering
heard
up
that. I've never
something.
heard that. I think you made that up.
That's
Okay.
Google beard
I-
right
I
now. Do an
started
image
it.
search and see what happens.
But yeah, so what are you guys' thoughts on beards? And specifically
I hate 'em.
the internet's cultural fascination with them.
This is back to what we were talking about. Well, first off, my own thing with beards is I've never been a big fan of facial hair in general. And this is a funny story because once,
You can grow facial hair, by the way.
nah, well, maybe not. I
could.
could. I couldn't back a few years ago. What do you know? When do you even
grow a
smell?
beard.
Portillo?
It's gonna be super weird.
No,
like
it'll
a
take
kid with a
forever.
beard.
We have to do. If we ever take like a week off of filming stuff, then yeah, I would. Here's the thing.
Challenge
The story
accepted.
I always think about is that my dad had a mustache, but like when you're a kid, it's really hard to separate facial hair and what you know from people, right? So my dad was just my dad. He always had a mustache. Got it. That's how it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll never forget this one time. Mom was reading People magazine and came into an old photo of Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd before Ghostbusters when they were still doing like Second City stuff, right? And they had mustaches. And my mom's like, look, and I was like, ah. She's like, what? And I'm like, I just don't like mustaches. And my dad's like, what? And I'm like, no. It's like, and then you can't express it as a kid. You know what I mean? That's just how my dad was. But for me, I've never understood the fascination in general. I understand just the different looks. You guys pull them off. People on the internet are always saying you look way better with the beard than you did without the beard. I
do.
I love you both ways. I do think you look really
Okay,
good now.
we need to put a link in this description of the Star Wars Director's Chosen video.
Yeah.
So
Do it right now.
I'll send that.
Okay.
But it's a video that me and Nick did at IGN, and it's us back and forth talking to each other.
It's genius.
And both
Oh,
of
yeah.
us look like we are 10 years
You look
old.
like you're
Well,
15.
see, that's the thing. It adds a lot of cred to your face.
Yes,
when
it
you do
does.
it. People still call me a baby face.
You are babyface.
I don't think so. I've got the gray hair now. Though. That's what's pulling off.
I saw you with 5 o'clock shadow the other day when we did that other video, and I was like, I don't like it. It's like when a kid draws stubble on himself, and you're like, this is so unnatural that it's hurting my eyes to see. That's you with a beard, but I want to see you with a full beard.
Okay.
That's you with the.
Colin,
See, I
it'd
don't
be
think
weird
it-
to see you with a 5 o'clock shadow too. You're very always like cleanly shaven.
No,
No.
he gets the shadow.
Do you get, oh, he gets,
He
does
grows
get
in
the
a long
sun,
time, and he always
that's
does that thing where I have to tell him it's like it's time.
It's time.
It's
Yeah,
gone on
because I
too long.
can't. So I grow facial. I can't grow a full beard. Like, just don't have it in me. Which is unusual. My dad doesn't usually have a beard or facial hair, but he like gets a 5 o'clock shadow like 10 in the morning. So like I always assumed that I was gonna get that too, but I never did. But yeah, I'll grow my facial hair. See, I one of the reasons I like shaving my head now as an adult, I've always shaved my head, but is I'm like 2 or 3 shaving cycles of my face away from having the perfect fusion of hair and beard. And there's like a point about 2.5 weeks after I shave my head where I let my facial hair grow in for like 4 or 5 days and I look fucking really good.
Yeah.
There's a season of Conversation with Colin where I have the perfect timing and I look really good in that season. I gotta be honest, I look really good in that season.
What if you just let them both go as long as they're gonna go, and then you get a raise and you put it on guard, whatever, and just go at it, and then it's all the same.
It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like for some reason like a 2 here and a 2 here. They're not the same. It's a different type of hair. I think that's what it is. Because
Well, this is
I feel
pubes.
you. on
These are
this. There's-
pubes.
It's a big deal to like get that perfect cycle going. Because especially with the sideburns going on, and like with you with the shaved hair, because I used to do that too. It was easier because it's all starting from nothing. But man, getting that fade going, it's hard.
Yeah, I gotta like I'm gonna let my facial hair grow in, probably shave it this weekend, and then I'll let it grow in again, and I might hit it at that point. If not at that point, then the next time. So either next week or the week after that, I'm gonna have a good fusion going on.
You got to make sure you call it out when we do the show.
Okay. So I wish I can grow more facial hair because I like it. I like facial hair, not the mustache, but just the full beard like you guys have. I would enjoy that. But like Greg says, like I push it too far usually, like where I'm like looking a little homeless. Then I have to shave it, and then it grows back in. And I just it's much like my hair. It's like why I tried to shave my head quickly this time. I only shaved my head like a month ago, and I shaved it again. It's because I always came up. Maybe it was just the way I came up, and it was just the way it is. Why I always have afros and stuff like that when I was a kid. It was just like I'd cut my hair, and then I would just let it grow.
Yeah. I see.
Like I'm not cutting my hair to keep it cut. I'm not cutting my hair to look good. I'm just like, well, time to cut my hair, and then I let it grow back in again, and I don't shave it for a year. You know.
God,
And
I want to see you grow a mohawk.
I
You
want
could go
it bad.
the world's coolest mohawk.
I did have a mohawk. I can pull a picture up for you.
Let me see the mohawk picture.
But I had a mohawk when I was in college.
You look for your photo. The one of my the
I'll
beard
look it
story I was thinking about is that on top of there's the famous Ryan Geddes story where I saw a photo of him on his desk where he had a beard, and I asked him, did he just get released from a POW camp when this was taken? Because it's him and his wife, and it's black and white, and it looks like one of those photos where he just got back to America after being held captive.
What would you do if he said yes and then just stared at you?
I would turn into the seal on Reddit, and that'd be the end of it.
No.
But then I started trying to grow it out while I worked at IGN, and it looked terrible. But I was committed to 2 weeks. The one I was thinking about though was when I first started at IGN, the first E3. Everybody was like Roper, and everybody's like, all right, we do this thing where we grow beards at E3. That's our thing. Blah blah blah. When we're down there, we don't shave. And like 2 days in, Dan Adams, former editor in chief of IGN PC, walked into the war room and saw me there. And he's like, Greg, go home and shave. You look like a homeless person. Oh, all right.
miss Dan
I
Adams.
tried, Dan.
miss
I
Dan
tried
Adams.
so
It's always
hard.
funny to look back at pictures of yourself. Like I always, at some point, like from 7th grade on, had some form of facial hair consistently, and it's funny to
Oh,
look
you
back
had that
and
little
be,
7th grade boy hair.
what's up?
Yeah, that we all had that nasty 7th grade like facial hair boy hair.
Well,
where it's like, please shave that and like pop that zip.
I mean, the biggest difference, well, that too, but the biggest difference was like I had the hair then, specifically compared to my friends. Just like they were just
You had the inside
mole
track.
rats.
Yeah.
And I just had the hair. I'm like, well, I'm doing this, and it's so funny to look back at the pictures now because like for the longest time I did the thing where I'd keep the line, like it was all just the lines.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That was a
You
real
did the
gangster thing
lines.
to do,
Ugh.
and it's just like I can't like looking back at the pictures. I'm like, what was I thinking? I thought that was so clean.
But does it ever terrify you that you say that, and then 10 years from now, you're going to look back now and be
I
like,
think
what
about
was I
that
thinking?
all the time.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And it's funny because whenever I'm like this, I look at the pictures of me without anything and I'm like, oh, why don't I do that more? And then once I shave, I'm like,
Oh, this is why I don't do this.
I want it back. And it's
Yeah.
just, the grass is always greener. My point is when I feel it on my lip, like the curl, I'm like, oh, I need to do something. I'm hitting that now.
yeah, but
I
you
trim it,
cleaned up a
trim
bit.
it.
I know I'm really bad at trimming though. Like
Just
I'm
trim
not
it.
good at things.
You
guys.
can just trim
you all
it
know
with
this.
just this. You don't have to
You're great
shave the
at
whole
things.
thing off. You just take your clippers and trim right here.
See, but
As
you guys know this about me. I'm not good at stuff. So
You're good at
what I
everything.
did,
I know, right? What are you talking about?
not
What are you
this type
talking
of thing.
about?
So whenever I need to shave,
That's awesome.
I shave
Dude,
it all
that's
off.
awesome. You got to do that again.
Yeah, look how badass Colin used to be.
That's sweet, dude.
Sorry.
wow.
That is badass. You got to do that again.
Hold on.
Next time we take promotional images for
What
the
are you playing?
site, for this
I'm time
channel,
coding
Tales
right
of
now.
Symphonia, flicking off the camera like a fucking badass in his mohawk.
This is when I was an intern at IGN.
Text me that right now, so I don't forget.
That's so funny.
Sorry to interrupt you.
But yeah, I also have the same problem with my hair when I get my hair cut. And Greg hates this. But I'll go to work without anything in my hair because I
just-
don't like getting my hair cut without. So everyone at work knows when I'm getting my hair cut.
Well,
'cause
it's
I go
because
with like the poof.
when you look at Tim, this is what he looks like, and he's arguably the most handsome among us, the most put together. He's got the youth, he's got the great hair, he's got the great beard. He has all the parts that we need. He's got the baby face of me. He's got the amazing hair of his own, I guess. He's got the beard of Nick.
Craig went like this. He's got the amazing hair of his own. Thank you.
Anyways,
You tried to be nice for a
He
second.
comes in, and I remember the first time it happened, I was like, did Tim have a death in the family? Like, is he holding on by his just his giant hair? You're in like a sweatshirt. You're like, what's up?
I got her.
And you automatically look dopier. Like, not dopier like you're dumb, but dopier like something's wrong with Tim today, everyone.
Oh,
Let's go talk to Tim. You're like,
Yeah.
hey, bird. Like,
like Eeyore?
Like
I become
Sesame Street.
Eeyore?
but my thing is, like, you know that they'll wash your hair for you.
It's just so weird to me. Like, I don't know.
Having
It's not
somebody else
weird.
wash
It's
your hair is
something-
one of the best
they
things.
charge you for it.
Does-
It's
yeah,
part
I'm
of the
down with
fee
that.
anyway. If you go to the right place, they will massage your scalp, and it'll be whatever. Whoever cuts your hair will literally lean you back, put a sort of oily shampoo in it that cleans the very roots of it, and then they will
So just a
rub it
shampoo.
while they ask you how your day is. But no, they don't use like just a normal
I
like
don't
per
like this.
plus.
I've had one fancy
Why don't you
haircut
like
in my
this?
life, and it was like 6 months ago. Never again. It's too much of an
No,
experience.
it's
and
not a fancy
endeavor.
haircut. Any haircut place does this for you.
Supercuts?
Yeah, they wash your hair.
I don't want supercuts washing my hair. I don't
Go
want
to a
them cutting
place.
my hair,
Go to a
but
place
I
where
like
it's like a $40 haircut, and they'll do it a really nice job. And they'll like. There's a place called the Woodbridge, which I've gone to a couple times. They do an okay job. It's on Chestnut Street, and the girls there, yeah, they take in the back, shampoo your hair.
See, I miss the days when I could just shave my own head. And just,
Oh, yeah.
That's what I do.
You're missing. You got to do it once for me. Just go and do it.
I'll tell you what. There was,
You're gonna love it.
I had a rough day. It was a rough week or something. I forget what it was. I needed a haircut because it looked like a jerk. So I went into the haircut place. Got a rant. I go to original Palace Barbershop in San Francisco, corner of 2nd and Mission. Got a random person there. She didn't speak much English. She's cut my hair fine, doing a fine job. Yeah. And then she's like, "Do you want the massage?"
Is that what she sounded like?
Do you want the massage? No, I don't do accents well unless they're UK. So
Because that sounded like just a businessman. That's what that accent sounded
with a
like.
suitcase.
Sir, would you like a massage and a cup of coffee?
I could really go for the cup. Anyways,
Coffee.
and I
can
was
we
like,
make
sure,
coffee?
whatever. No, they don't.
For the
I
next
would
segment?
not drink or I would not
No,
consume
can we
See,
any
the
Coffee
fancy place
time.
I went to gave us drinks.
Well, yeah, no, the fancy. This is not the original Palace Barbershop. Is just an old school barbershop, spinning colored
Spinning
pole.
thingy? Cool.
Get a haircut, and then at the very bottom, it's all like women welcome too, because it's like, oh crap, we've totally painted ourselves into a corner here, because it's just a barbershop. Anyways,
Yes.
and I'm like, yeah, I want the massage, and I thought they'd be like, they rub your head, which I've had before. Instead, she busts out this little belt sander business deal, like she boom, and then it puts it to your head and just goes, and it was so good, I almost cried. It was like literally even during the haircut, I had been sitting there like, oh, and this is happening. I gotta do this, that, and the other, and she did it. It was like the most like freeing experience. Like, holy shit.
Did you ever go back?
I go back to the original Palace Barbershop all the time. I've never gotten her though again.
Did you get the head massage? This belt
No,
sander?
no, she's the only person I think she brings it from home.
Wow.
Oh, that's so good. I
like that.
There's
Yeah.
nothing quite like a good massage, and I don't mean that in a sexual way. I mean that in that when someone has the ability to do that, it is the most peaceful, at ease you will ever feel in your entire life. It's like a blissful feeling, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever have that girl that was like, she would just rub your back? Like you ever have
Yeah,
a friend
yeah.
or a girl who would just like, I'm really into giving back rubs, and you're like, okay. And you weren't that into her. It wasn't a sexual thing, but she would start rubbing your back, and you would just instantly melt.
Yeah.
And be like, I want to stay in this feeling, in this moment for the rest of my life. I want someone to intravenously feed me pizza, and this is it. I've hit nirvana.
I don't think I ever had that.
No, you're missing out, man. In
God, it's the
my
best
story
thing.
on this, it was in a final day of high school. We had the ices machine. They sold the ices there, the Slurpees. This was a big deal when they added this in high school. And I forget one day. So the final day, I forget how we built up to this. Whatever. I was gonna try to drink as many as I could or whatever. And there was a kid. There was a kid on the inside of the school doing
Taking
this
it to
as
the
well.
limit.
His name was Mike. He was a friend of mine, but he was running with a different crowd. I was doing it for my own personal group of friends outside.
I thought you were just gonna say just for my own personal.
I'm just taking him outside, drinking in like a corner. Anyways,
It's four so far.
I made it into the tens. I forget. Like you were up in double digits, but I didn't beat Mike's record at the time. It didn't matter. But it was a mistake, of course. You do not feel well after that. But it's also like the final day of your senior year, so nobody cares what's happening. And I remember sitting next to a girl who's just a friend. Don't get me wrong. And she just rubbed my head, and it was like the most like. I don't know what drugs are, but I imagine this is
I
what they
imagine
are.
that's what
Yeah, you know what I
everyone
mean, you're just like
feels
saying,
like.
oh, you're like so good. I didn't want that period to end.
God, there was one girl in high school that used to do that. There's always that girl in high school. I was in theater in high school, so there was always like, everyone's always like touchy feely in theater. And there was a girl, and I can't remember who it was. I wasn't into her. It wasn't like a sexual thing at all. But she would do the thing where like in theater there was this exercise where you sit in a circle and you rub each other's backs.
Oh.
No, you don't.
Oh, I know
none of
this
this.
one.
There's none of this happening, Tim. It's not we're not playing with two joysticks at the same time.
Okay.
You rub each other's backs. And one time in the circle, this girl rubbed my back, and my hands went limp. It was so good. And from then on, I'd be like, hey.
That was the only limp.
I was trying to get. Damn,
I'm sorry. It's so hard.
I know,
not
it's really,
to-
I'm trying not to
The
be
pure
sexual.
one.
But for that, forever, I would be like trying to bump into her hands again and be like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Oh, they're there.
Yeah.
Just do the business.
You know,
Yeah.
oh god, it was the best thing on the planet. Beards. Here's my thing about beards. I obviously love beards. I do not like when people abuse the beard. Just grow it out.
What about when they fear the beard?
Fearing the beard's fine. You can fear
Okay.
the beard. You can love the beard. You can do whatever you want to the beard. You can sit on the beard. You can skate on the beard. Doesn't matter. I don't like when people abuse the beard and they just grow it out for a month and then shave it into a mustache for that stupid Movember stuff. I hate that.
I also just don't like when they just grow it out with just no regard to anything.
There's utter disregard.
Yeah. It just gets nasty.
I don't like that. See, like Casey Lynch has a cool, like, it's grown out, but he does something with
There's
it.
regard there.
He thinks about it, like he'll braid it or he'll like make it. He like has like one of those
Braid it.
badass
That's the
like
guy in Anthrax. I don't think I-
pharaoh thing that like
Uh-huh.
goes down and it's like, so that's cool and it fits his overall look and he's got tats and he's got like cool
Yeah,
hair
it's a
and
unique
stuff.
look.
It's very unique. But yes, when it gets unruly and you're like, hey, is that soup? in your beard? Like, is there literally a carrot in your beard?
Yeah, this is gross.
Like, don't do it, guys.
See,
Clean
that
it up.
reminds me of a problem.
Plus, your
have.
beard can smell, by the way.
Well, yeah, exactly. You start smelling it; it's always itchy. And then when you, every single time I eat, I always like to wash my face.
I wash my face. I gotta wash my
And
face.
so I do that, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, fuck. If there's no paper towels, oh Lord help me.
You look like a
Like,
wet
if
dog.
you need to use one of the stupid ass like
hand dryers.
hand dryers.
your beard's fucked because like there's so much water that just accumulates
Yeah.
in there, and it's just stuck.
I literally.
No bueno.
Gross. Everything you're saying is gross.
Yeah,
Beards are gross.
Yeah.
they are gross.
Gross.
All right, that's the final word on beards.